want to hop onto your game?
Yeah, I went with Qbert. And I actually played, I have like one of these little miniature Qbert arcade cabinets is what I played it on. You know, the thing you get at like Target for like $20. But it's not the arcade version of Qbert. It's some home version of it. It feels very close to the NES version. But yeah, Qbert's, hopefully people, it's a kind of a difficult game to explain, but you're Qbert and you have this pyramid board and you have to hop on the different squares of the board and then the squares change color. And there's various enemies that come after you. And you always move diagonally, which is like really sort of mentally challenging to do. If you've been playing a lot of 2D games, you have to actually like consciously think of like I'm moving in, 4 different directions than what I normally use. So that's cool. Some of the enemies just kind of go around the board randomly. Others actually chase you. The main enemy, which I believe is called Coily, I think is his name. He comes directly after you. He's the bouncing snake. And you can only get rid of him by tricking him into jumping off the side of the pyramid. And then later stages, it just gets more difficult. Like, you sometimes have to jump on every square twice, things like that. More enemies. What I think is funny about Qbert is, like, the people who have, like, world records at Qbert, I guess there's some ways to, like, get huge numbers of lives in Qbert. So you can get a lot of bonus lives. And then it actually takes you a long time to die. Like if you're playing Pac-Man and you just like let go of the controller and like go to the bathroom or take a nap, you're probably going to like, it'll be game over by the time you come back. Right. Mm-hmm. But Qbert, if you can bank like 20 or 30 lives, because it takes so long on the initial starting square for Qbert, no objects ever land on there. So you actually have to wait for like Coily to spawn and then for him to work his way up to the top of the pyramid. So if you have a big bank of extra lives in Qbert, you can actually take like an hour nap while you're playing.
That's great.
Yeah, and that's how people set like the crazy world records on Qbert. So that's pretty cool. I thought that was fun. Back in the day, I originally played this on Intellivision, and the Intellivision port is actually it's a pretty good port.
Yeah, I did the NES port. And,
okay, so what did you think of Qbert?
Yeah, it's a good game for what it is. Like you said, getting used to the controls is a bit difficult because in the cabinet, the 4-way stick is at a 45-degree angle. Mm-hmm. So that makes a lot more sense. Also, when you on the arcade cab, if you fall off the side, there's a little mechanical device that you could hear the thud if you would actually hit the ground. It's like a little hammer that hits the side of the inside of the arcade cabinet. That's really cool. Yeah, it's a fun little game for what it is. It's on every system ever, I think. Mm-hmm. So anyone could play it wherever they are.
Yeah, it was ported to everything in the 80s.
Yeah.
The NES version lets you customize the controls, if I remember right.
You could do some 45-degree angle control or 90-degree angle. I'm not sure which is easier. Like, I think one of them you're meant to hold your controller at kind of a 45-degree angle. You know what I mean?
This was a case where the Intellivision controller was actually the better controller because you can do diagonals on it more easily than like a NES pad.
Yeah. But yeah, not a bad game. Obviously, the sound is iconic. Mm-hmm. The little speech synthesis chip in there. But yeah, Gottlieb was kind of known for being cutting edge on their sound. Yeah, any closing thoughts on Qbert?
No, I mean, sort of like Dynamite Head. Like, I can play it for a stage or two, and then, like, that's all the Qbert I can take for one day.
Yeah. Yeah.